All right, welcome back, everybody. We are the Fantasy Forecasters coming to you with our Week 13 NFL picks. Last week we did slightly better than Week 11, which was just a brutal week. Danny and myself each missed 4, and Bryn missed 2, including the tie, which he would have gotten wrong anyway.
And what? There was only 2 teams on bye last week, so that means I got 10 right. I'm in the double digits this week.
So the
Actually 9. Wait, there's a game tonight. Crap, I just jinxed it.
So the standings as of right now, me and Danny are tied at 80 and 67.
Yeah, that's right. Then never mind.
And Bryn is at 90, 53. We all picked the Texans heading into tonight's game, so I don't think that's really going to
So the Titans are going to win in a blowout tonight?
Probably.
Well, no, Bryn picked them, so we're safe.
Did Bryn pick the Titans?
Bryn picked Texans, we're safe.
I was going to say Bryn picked the
No, say Bryn picked Texans, we're safe.
Yeah,
Bryn's always right.
that's right. So, to kick off Week 13 of the NFL season, we have the Saints traveling to the Cowboys.
Oh, look at this. The Cowboys are in prime time again, everyone. Oh my gosh.
This is their Thursday night game. This is the one everyone gets.
Second week in a row on Thursday.
Yeah, everybody does get Thursday.
Yeah, everybody
Well,
gets
this is technically their second one. Well, not everyone. Technically speaking, one team or 2 teams don't because they only air it for 14 or 15 out of the 17 weeks. They don't air it on week 1 or the last 2 weeks. They don't have a Thursday night football game. So not every team. So 2 or so.
Well, basically every team.
Most teams do, but I think 2
I mean,
teams
no
don't.
one wanted to see Buffalo anyways.
Is it Buffalo? Is it Buffalo?
I think Buffalo did actually.
No, I think don't they round out the anyway.
Yeah, we're going off topic.
We'll have to look at that. We'll have our marketing and research department look at that.
Which is pretty much that guy that we spend all our money with, that homeless guy.
Yeah. So we'll have him look at it. But anyway, we are all on the Saints wagon here. I don't think the Cowboys have enough firepower to keep up with the Saints.
But it's in Dallas.
Even though people will argue that the offense has changed since Amari Cooper came, but let's be honest, he had 2 big plays that got him most of the chunk yardage, and that was from poor tackling.
Yeah, I think the offense changed coming by, as stupid as it is. It was basically saying that now teams have to actually guard their receivers. For one, is taking a shot at your guys that you signed in the offseason. What were you thinking? And 2, is Elliott had, 2 bad weeks in that time in between those areas?
To be fair, I mean, they signed Allen Hurns and...
Allen Hurns was a star. See, what has Jacksonville done without Allen Hurns?
What did we do?
I'm starting to turn into Skip Bayless here. I'm just making the dumb arguments. What did they do? They've done nothing. So Allen Hurns has turned that team around. Allen Hurns and Allen Robinson were the reason that Jacksonville was a star team last year.
But they didn't play last year.
I don't care. That was the reason. They're gone, and all of a sudden the team sucks.
Allen Robinson,
Argument solid.
Argument solid. 10 games.
Who else? Nothing else on the team's changed.
Cole Beasley.
I'm talking about the Jaguars.
Why are we talking about the Jaguars?
Why did Cowboys say
Why do we always get on Jaguars conversation?
Because we need to become more like I'm Skip Bayless now, where I'm talking about complete crap that I don't know about, and hopefully
Then you should have picked Dallas.
Then you should have. He left Dallas.
Cowboys are America's team, and they are going to make it to the series. No, please God, no. Please God,
You
no.
aren't Skip Bayless.
Then you're not.
I'm going to watch this week, and if Skip Bayless picks the Cowboys,
Yeah, he probably will.
I'll switch my pick.
They'll probably pick him in like three touchdown lead.
Skip Bayless is awful.
They'll probably say Drew Brees comes out and throws for 25 yards and gets picked off 12 times.
Dak Prescott throws for 600 yards, breaks a record.
Yeah.
And don't forget he runs for 300 yards.
True.
No,
He's not even a running quarterback.
And LA gets 600 yards rushing too.
What a game. Wow, this is going to be... And Saints still win by 3 points?
No, Cowboys don't put up 17.
Wait, I thought we were talking about the Cowboys, not the Bucks.
Hey, to be fair, there's another team this past week that had that many. Pittsburgh had 462 passing yards.
And only put up
17
That's
points.
awful.
Anyway,
I don't know how that happened.
the next game on the slate is the Rams at the Atlanta Ravens. Ravens, sorry.
It does look like Rams the way you have it there.
The Ravens at Atlanta. Me and Bryn are taking the Falcons, while Danny is taking the Ravens with the upstart quarterback of, I can't remember his name, Lamar Jackson, because I hate him so much.
I was going to say, you were the one who were like begging that the Jaguars don't draft him during the draft. Yeah, Ravens, once again, I still don't think, I think if they make the playoffs, they're one and done at best. And with what the AFC starting to look like, they probably will make the playoffs. I still think though that they're better than the Falcons.
You never know because technically Chargers probably are getting 5 and Colts have been looking.
You're right. You're very true on that one.
And we can't technically, if Adam Gase does decide to put faith in Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, we're not, that's never happened.
And the Titans do beat Texans tonight. They are 6-5 too. So
they,
they're right on the
Ravens
Ravens.
gonna. Well, the way it is I don't think the Falcons can stop anything on defense. I think they got their best defensive player off IR this week or next week. I don't remember what it is, but one of their players are coming off. I don't think it was Neil. I think it was the other one. He's coming off IR here soon. I don't know if it's this week or next week, so that should help if it's this week. But the Ravens, I just can't see the Falcons stopping the run, and that's literally all the Ravens are right now is the run. So that's why I'm picking the Ravens. I think it's going to be a quick game. That's going to be a lot of running.
Did you see how Lamar Jackson played against a really bad Raiders defense?
Yeah, but did you see how he played the week before? He's running the ball good.
Well, yeah, but now teams got like tape on him.
Right.
They do, but if you looked at, like, say, I don't know, the Tim Tebow year.
Turned into Bales.
If you look at the Tim Tebow year, it took him about 7 weeks to catch Tim Tebow. I don't think teams have quite figured out the Ravens quite yet with Lamar Jackson. Plus, we're talking Lamar Jackson. We don't even know if Joe Flacco's out this week.
Who did Ravens beat 2 weeks ago?
I don't even remember.
They beat Cincinnati, correct?
Yeah, they beat Cincinnati.
Was it
They beat Cincinnati and Oakland. Do we really want to start crowning?
Yeah, but I mean,
Lamar
you really think the Falcons are much better than that?
But the Falcons at home.
Compared to Cincinnati
Falcons
and
have 4
Oakland,
wins.
yeah. Compared to Cincinnati and Oakland, yeah.
But Cincinnati has more wins than
I knew you were going to say that.
Cincinnati has more wins.
I knew you were going to
And
say
didn't
it.
Cincinnati beat the Falcons earlier this year? I'm pretty certain the Bengals beat the Falcons earlier
Yeah, but that's
this
when
year.
the Bengals were good.
That was
That's when the Falcons were bad.
that's pre-AJ
Do
Green.
you know the same Falcons team that got blown out by the Browns? That's when this Falcons team was
but
good.
The
It was
Falcons,
bad.
the Falcons do play a lot better in the dome at home. The Ravens are not that good.
Well, I've been saying that for weeks, and I just said it here too. But I just think they're the better team, and I don't think the Falcons can. Stop.
Right now, there's 3 teams that I'm annoyed with, and Ravens is one of them because I can't seem to get them down.
That's the one you're picking wrong.
I can't seem to get Carolina down either. 'Cause I picked them last week too, and I missed them.
You picked against them though. You picked twice.
I got a Panthers game.
Yeah, I was gonna say your streak is
I
over.
picked Seahawks.
Yeah.
You picked Seahawks, yeah.
So-
Remember, you only missed 2 last week, and one was a tie pick.
Yeah, the Bengals and Browns.
Maybe I'm turning myself around with the Panthers.
Yeah, turn yourself around. You're 10 games ahead of us, and you're turning yourself around. Yes.
Yeah.
But yes, that's why I picked the Ravens. I think the run game is unstoppable. Jackson playing. I think Joe Flacco will come back.
Boy, that's a little.
Against the Falcons, I don't think the Falcons have no defense. We all know it. They have no defense whatsoever.
But neither do the Raiders. And the Raiders actually somewhat held them in check. Now, I'm
Well,
not
Raiders
saying-
have been slowing down teams and then blowing it at the end. So it's not that the Raiders have been getting blown out by everyone. Raiders haven't been getting. Who has blown out the Raiders this year besides the Chargers?
There's another team that.
One team. How many weeks are we in now? We're 11 games in, and you're saying 2 teams blew out the Raiders, so their
49ers.
defense is worse.
Chiefs.
No, 49ers only put up like 20 points, and 20 points is average.
Yeah, but they made Mullins.
Yeah, they had an undrafted rookie
on a
quarterback.
Thursday night when they didn't know Mullins was gonna play until what? 24 hours.
Broncos and Bengals.
If I get this game right, I will be throwing it in both of your faces next week.
All right, the next game on the slate is the Broncos at Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals will be out without possibly AJ Green, and news
Dalton's
just
officially
broke
done.
that Andy Dalton is officially done for the year. So Jeff Driscoll is the
Who
starting.
looked good on his first drive, and then
I mean, here's the thing. I know we're all picking Denver, or are we?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're all
we're
Denver.
I know we're all picking Denver, but why do I have a feeling that Denver's going to beat Denver?
After the 2 biggest wins of the year going to
I mean, this could easily be a trap game because you had the Broncos.
Who
they
would have
beat
thought
the
that we'd be
Chargers,
saying the team with a better record is a trap game for a team with the worst record?
right?
Oh my gosh, though, I've been saying all years the Broncos are bad. I still do not think they're a good team, although they have taken down 2 top teams in 2 straight weeks.
Again, one thing
And they could easily lose this game.
One thing that you guys are not remembering about the Broncos is even though you still tear me apart for saying that they don't have a terrible defense, their defense still is strong up front, and they shut down Connor except for that one big run that he fumbled.
That actually was a screen pass. Everything were run.
Was it
It
screen
was
pass?
a 23-yard screen pass.
Well, see, I mean, they shut down James Conner. And like
But
this
this
is a
James Conner hasn't actually done anything since the injury, though. I'll say that. Don't get me wrong, Jacksonville is a wonderful defense, but James Conner has not looked right since that injury a
Well,
couple
no,
weeks
but
ago.
that's the thing. What I'm getting at here is that Denver should be fine because Bengals are putting out a really bad looking offense.
And the Bengals defense.
You know, and
their defense is bad. I mean,
AJ Green doesn't play, they'll kick their asses, right?
Yeah.
Only if AJ Green doesn't play, though.
Yeah, there's no reason to think that the Bengals realistically should get this win.
What happened to them?
I know.
Like
They were what,
That
4-1?
last 5 minutes of the Steelers game. Man,
Yeah.
Steelers ruined ruined teams a lot.
That's
this
right.
year.
Dalton ruined my fantasy teams.
Yep.
I put him in like a great matchup,
And he just
and
falls.
he gets like 10 points.
Ouch.
Should have listened to me last week about the Browns, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't have.
You know, I was gonna say.
I cut Dalton.
I was gonna be shocked if you still had Dalton. I was
No,
like, I thought you were talking about
after
last
his
week.
last blow up against a very favorable team on defense, I cut him.
Yeah.
Now,
All right. Moving forward, we have the Rams at the Lions, where the Rams are favored.
no one's picking the Lions.
No one's.
Yeah, but who are the Lions gonna throw? They got Kenny Galladay and then
Just so you
Theo
guys
Riddick.
know, Detroit basically has won upset games this year.
they have. You are right. They did knock down
They
the
knocked off
Patriots.
New England. They knocked off Green Bay when Green Bay was looking pretty solid.
They beat them pretty bad too.
So,
I think that's
Do you
right.
want to take the Rams?
No.
Do you want to take the
No,
Lions?
well, yeah, I want to take. No, hold on. I don't take the Rams.
You're almost
not
stuck
even
it
there.
in. Darn it!
It's not even
I
there.
changed it. He's got it on video.
So, moving forward, we have
She hasn't
the
liked it though.
Cardinals traveling to Green Bay.
Oh, that's a jump.
And
That's a dumpster fire game.
Bryn in.
I feel so confident in myself that I can throw an upset pick out here.
That he doesn't even believe in.
No, I really don't. Green Bay's probably going to win this one going away. It's probably going to be like 35-10 Green
It's
Bay.
the Packers comeback game.
But I know, and it's where everyone's going to start talking up Aaron Rodgers like he's the best thing
Oh,
since
that's-
sliced bread.
That's not the biggest talk. There's going to be another one later on in our picks that's going to even get a bigger talk for a team of they're back and they're going to win it all.
Well, that's the thing. I'm going Arizona just because.
He's a salty Bears fan.
Yes, I am. I'm still bitter about.
They
week
are
one.
who they thought they were.
That's right.
I'm still bitter about week one. My only reason for picking them is because one, I just want to brag, and two,
Brag.
Good answer.
and two, in all honesty, I mean Green Bay hasn't been great, but
No, they're
I mean, they're better than the Cardinals. I mean, the only team
Oh, yeah,
that's
no
not
doubt. Like-
the only team that's not better than the Cardinals right now are the Niners. And coincidentally, it's the only team that the Cardinals have beat this year twice. So I can't even. I don't even think there's much else to talk about. You picking it, just giving us a point back up on you. Packers win in a
it's
blowout.
boring right now up on top.
Ouch! Oh my god! I'm Skip Bayless and he's the asshole. I got it now. How did they pick the Cardinals? We got Aaron Rodgers in this game.
The next game,
Like I'm way ahead, 10 points.
get creative.
I mean, my gosh, I might as well. Maybe I will pick.
Bryn, just take all offense this week. Just take offense the whole way down the road.
Oh, gee.
Rest of the way.
All right. The next game on the slate is the Bills at Miami.
Is this the game you're talking about for the?
No, I'm talking about Monday Night Football. I'm talking about Monday Night Football.
I am taking the Miami Dolphins, while Bryn and Danny are taking the Buffalo Bills. The only reason I'm taking the Dolphins is they actually do, at some points, look like a playoff team, and then they blow it. But
I think that right there is why I take the Bills.
Hold on. So right now, granted, this is 2 straight picks where we both know that the team's awful and we're still picking them.
Well, all I gotta say is the coach doesn't trust the quarterback against a top defense in the league now
What?
this week.
What I don't understand though is how can he not trust Tannehill yet basically let
started
Osweiler
it.
throw nonstop?
Well, I guess Osweiler's gonna start this week, isn't he?
But, I mean,
They're not against the Bears though. Why would they start Osweiler?
Osweiler's not going
but here's my thing. Kenyon Drake has looked better. Frank Gore's been getting involved. They could. He's there. He's there. But this defense could not stop Leonard Fournette. Now, I'm not saying Kenyon Drake is Leonard Fournette by any means.
Oh my God, where are you going with this?
But I think Kenyon Drake can find some space, and they can, beat the Bills 7-3.
So I'm going to basically tell you, do not play Kenyon Drake in fantasy and do not listen to this guy. I would be stunned if Kenyon Drake gets more than 3 fantasy
So in
points
other
this
words,
week.
I should have just talking a whole bunch of bull about the Cardinals.
Talking up David Johnson.
I mean, look, in all honesty, I don't think that this is a game where it's definitely Bills are going to win. So, I mean, I'm like making fun of them, but in all honesty, this is
It's a closer game than yours.
It's a coin flip.
I'd say it's a little more than a point flip. Fins.
Come on, it's Buffalo.
Yeah, but their defense can shut people down. Fins.
They shut down Blake Bortles, but still almost lost.
Yeah.
Well, because Leonard Fournette's a beast.
If Leonard
He only had
Fournette
90-some yards.
in the
Yeah,
first,
because he got kicked out of the game.
he got kicked out like the beginning of the third quarter.
Exactly.
So if Leonard Fournette gets kicked out, somehow that goes back into this game.
And then the Bills.
The Fins win.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Dolphins keep
Dolphins
playing.
win if Leonard Fournette doesn't get kicked out.
Leonte Carew gets kicked out.
Oh my God.
The Dolphins will lose.
Oh my
I just wanted to use that name once.
All right.
Oh my
And
God.
that's why I took the Dolphins, because Carew. All right.
If only they could get another wide receiver that's not injured. Is Kenny still smiling back? He dropped the touchdown pass this week. That's right.
All right. The next game on the slate is the Bears at the New York Giants, where the Bears are favored. We all took the
I
Bears.
thought this one was didn't have a
No,
favorite
this one
technically
did.
yet.
The only one that
Because
didn't-
Trubisky may or may not be healthy.
Oh, that's true. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think this one had it.
He's still questionable.
So he's still questioned. So
And
you
they
can
don't
make
think
it.
he will play.
You can make an argument for the Giants, but with that loss last week to the Eagles, I think they're pretty much going to start packing it
When
in.
the
I just
Eagles-
don't.
When the Giants literally drove down the field in the first 3 drives and looked unstoppable.
Oh, they stopped playing. They didn't
They were
even
up-
play in the
They
second
were up
half.
19-3.
Well, once again, though, you got the bigger problem in New York where Odell Beckham complained this week. They had an interview with him where he said, I would have loved to go against those Eagles defensive backs this week, but that was not in the game plan. So they're falling apart again in New
But here's the
York.
thing. Last time Pat Shurmur was a head coach, he didn't do good. This was just a stupid sign, in my opinion, by the Giants.
He did good for the Vikings last
Yeah,
year.
but it's not, you're not getting much different from Ben McAdoo, and
You're
that's
right.
sad.
Yeah, it's very similar to that.
I mean, it's not like the Eagles were on their 5th string cornerback as a starter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They could have easily thrown the ball probably
And yet, for
30
some
times.
odd reason-
Even with Eli Manning, could have probably put up 40 points
And yet,
against the
for
Eagles.
some odd reason, the Giants didn't fire their offensive coordinator.
Right?
They might get their second.
Like, how do you have a team with Odell Beckham, Saquon Barkley, and I'm going to throw Sterling Shepard because he's not a bad...
Well, not even that.
And Evan Ingram.
And then-
Not even. Well, Ingram didn't play this week. He got injured in pregame. Hamstring injury pregame. He didn't play.
Oh, that's why. the guy
Yeah, so
got
that's
0
why
points.
Ingram was not in there. But they also, you're talking about offense. They got Landon Collins, who may be the best safety in the NFL right now on defense. You got some of the top. Who was the one they just got from the Rams? That's one of the top.
Jenkins.
They got Jenkins is still there, but the linebacker, I cannot think of his name for the life of me, that they just got from the Rams this offseason, who was once one of the best in the league. They got some good players on
Tell
this
you why
defense.
now, because they don't have Jason Pierre-Paul.
Anyway, we all picked the Bears.
I'll pick the Bears.
Sorry, we just wanted to rant about the Giants?
There's no, you started it, but there's no reason that the Giants should be this bad this year.
Or they should have lost to the Eagles. No.
Even lost to the Eagles, but overall this bad. They should probably be in the running for that division right now. They may be the most talented team in that division, and they're this
On
bad.
paper, yeah. All right, moving forward, we have the Panthers, who just lost a heartbreaker to Seattle, traveling to Tampa Bay,
Who just
where,
won
It's gonna, and it's going to happen 2 weeks in a row.
where
think it's
Bryn
heartbreaking.
believes
The Bucs are
Jameis
gonna-
Winston will not get benched and play the whole game and beat the Carolina Panthers.
2 straight weeks Winston will play the whole game. And...
That's a bold prediction.
That is a bold prediction.
Boldest of all.
I didn't say he's not going to throw an interception. Otherwise,
That would have been.
Yeah, that would have been pushing it.
How
But
many-
he won't.
He won't throw an interception.
He's
We
not
won't
gonna
throw more than 5 interceptions this week, I promise.
Now, I just think that right now, I think this is the best time than ever to pick Tampa Bay because they come off their after losing how many games in a row? 5.
Probably pretty close to that.
They beat a 49ers team that
Worst in the league. I said it.
I don't know. Cincinnati might legit be down there.
With,
But
with Jeff Driscoll and no
Jeff
AJ
Driscoll there.
Green.
But once again, this team's running on what's his face again?
Nick Mullins.
Nick Mullins is their starter.
Well, CJ
Jeff
Beathard's
Driscoll,
back.
Nick
CJ
Mullins.
Beathard could come back.
He
so
could, but
probably
still,
will.
Nick Mullins.
But I just think right now Carolina is a complete mess. I know they barely lost to Seattle,
They
but
barely lost last
this is one that I actually feel a little bit more confident in than the Cardinals up there. Because I don't know, Tampa, I just feel like they're going to come out and surprise people. They did it this week because I didn't expect them to put up that much that
I
quick.
did. I'm the only one who picked them in this group because the Bucks aren't as bad as what they look. They just
Okay,
need to
well,
decide on a quarterback, and they probably need a better coach.
Well,
Why did they? I still
Cutter's
don't get why they fired Lovie Smith and put Cutter in there. That was a dumb move.
Because Cutter was one of the top coaching prospects.
Yeah,
They
and
didn't
see
want-
work out them.
Well, they thought he was going to be good.
Well, either way, I
It
think
worked great for.
Plus, Lovie Smith is the coach that gets fired before he really should get fired. Just like
Everywhere.
Chicago.
But either way, I think this game's going to be closer than people think it is, just because I think it's going to be a surprise and low scoring game. But I think Panthers get back into the playoff race here a little bit. They dropped out of the playoffs actually this week with that loss. They're technically now number 7 in the NFC. So they need to win. They know they need to win, and I think they get back into it this week. I think Bucks go for 700 yards and put up 10 points.
Did you just say that the Bucks defense is going to keep the Panthers low scoring?
Oh, because Panthers aren't going to be that great on there.
Have you not watched a minute of Christian McCaffrey? Like, dude's fucking running everywhere.
Yeah, but they held the 49ers to 9 points, Brent. You're talking this 49ers thing up.
I didn't talk 49ers up. I said that.
Yeah, but you just said the Bucks won that big one and they're going to come beat the Panthers after
Because
being
they
in San
finally
Francisco.
stopped their losing streak.
So you think they're gonna win back to back?
I do.
You think they're going to go Browns on them?
They're going to go to Cleveland Browns.
Christian McCaffrey's probably gonna have 300 yards in this game.
No doubt.
And I think that's gonna be the difference maker in this game.
McCaffrey doesn't even get 100 yards rushing.
Wow.
Maybe not even 75.
Didn't he torch the Bucks last game?
Probably. That's why they're going to basically have 7 in the thing.
Who are you picking?
Yeah, like, who are you picking?
I told you it's going to be a close game. Panthers win. But my problem is Bucks' game plan is going to be stop McCaffrey. So then basically, who is Cam Newton thrown to?
DJ Moore,
DJ
who's
Moore.
been stepping up.
DJ
like
Moore?
crazy.
Yeah.
Greg Olsen, who's
Devin
still
Funch
there.
is still.
Greg Olsen's been dropping a lot, though.
Yeah, but he's still Greg Olsen.
Greg Olsen dropped like 3 passes
And you
this
still
week.
have Devin Funches, who's like 8 foot
Yeah, he was
tall.
just out last week.
Why are you arguing for the Panthers anyway? Who are you
picking?
Because I feel like it's going to be.
We're like opposite now.
No, because you're saying this is going to be a low-scoring game. It's not going to be a low-scoring game.
It is.
I think Tampa's going to win basically like 42-35. That's going to be my prediction. They'll win. No, 38-35. Last-minute field goal.
21-17.
That's not that low-scoring.
What are you watching? What NFL are you watching?
I was expecting when you say low-scoring to be like 10-7.
All right, Panthers win 45-14.
What NFL are you watching where every game's like in the 70s
All right,
right
so
now?
wait, hold up. Let's get that. 45, 14,
We gotta get
41, 17, and I said.
How many
38.
do I get 10 extra points if I nail this? Tie it up.
I just want to see this like.
You know what? 2 bonus
45
points.
to 14.
Whoever has the closest score.
Andy was right, and so is Sean.
All right. The next game on our slate is the Jaguars and Colts. Me and Danny are taking the Jaguars.
Prince lost it.
Wait, what?
Prince lost it. He doesn't think he thinks we're hilarious for taking the Jaguars.
Why do you guys keep picking them?
Because you took the Colts, we have to do something to gain ground.
This is the one game here. Okay, the reason I'm taking it is because Cody Kessler has arrived for it.
Have you
Cody
guys-
Kessler?
Hold up. I'm pretty sure the last 5 weeks Sean has picked the Jaguars.
I don't think he picked against him. I have picked against him. by the
I
way.
don't
I would
know
like to
why.
point it out. But I am picking the Jaguars only because, for one, Leonard Fournette has been solid, and he was not there the first time they played the Colts.
Actually,
so Leonard
he was.
Fournette,
Yeah,
no,
he
he
was.
wasn't.
He
It was
was.
just 2 weeks ago.
We
Was
raised-
it?
They
It's
went
just
up,
2 weeks ago.
they went up 24-7, and we came back and lost on the last.
Really? I thought it was early in the season.
No, they just played.
Oh, either
Yeah,
way.
we lost
Okay,
the
well,
last
either way, Leonard Fournette's going to be angry after getting kicked out of a game.
So he's gonna punch someone.
So he's going to get kicked out earlier, but,
Now, I will say this.
but he'll punch Andrew Luck, and that's
Now,
where
I
he'll
will-
come back
I
and
will
run.
say this. If Leonard Fournette gets suspended for this game, I'm taking the Colts. Because there's a good chance
There's a good chance
that he
might.
may get
that's a good-
suspended.
I think Cody Kessler has a good game. I think this game could be a shootout. This game could honestly be a shootout.
Now,
24-7.
Who's Kessler throwing to?
D.D. Westbrook.
Okay.
Dante
I just want to check
Moncrief.
to make sure that you
Tommy Bohannon,
Tommy Bohannon.
Ben Koyak,
T.J. Yeldon. There you
DJ
go.
Chark. The reason why. The reason why I'm
This is a
taking.
great episode.
The reason why he's taking the Jaguars is because the Jaguars
DJ
are
Chark.
the team, and he can't be against
Listen.
them.
The second half of the Colts Jaguars team, yes, they put up like 20 some points in the first half. We shut them, they only had 46 yards of total offense in the second half of that game. So something worked. So we'll probably
Yeah,
give up
the
like.
Colts stopped playing.
But
because they
hey,
were up by-
hey, but we still almost won the game,
Oh my
but we
God.
lost on the last minute.
Sean still believes the Jaguars have a shot at the playoffs.
And we are not.
All I have to do
we
is
can
win out.
still go 8-8 and squeeze into the playoffs.
I'm not even going to make this many arguments for a team that I picked earlier. I'm not going to make as many arguments for, say, what is the bad team I picked earlier? The Bills or whatever, the Bucks, where I was making that argument for. I can't even make this bad of a bold of arguments for the Bucks.
I still believe,
Oh
all right?
my
This
God.
defense is still too talented.
This is 2017.
Exactly.
No, this is not 2017.
It's 2018, by the way.
We can
We
still.
did not film this video a year in advance, by the way.
That would have been impressive.
We got all the games exactly right when they are for the week.
Alright, moving forward.
Sean just wants to get out of
You
there.
don't want me to even say anything in that match.
Go ahead, Brent. I want to hear what you have to say about this Colts Jaguars matchup.
One, they have probably a not much better quarterback than Cody Kessler coming in, who is winless right now with all of his starts. He
It
is
was
not
for the
won a game.
Browns.
I don't care. He still hasn't won a game yet.
Who had won a game for the Browns before Baker Mayfield?
Johnny
Johnny
Football.
Manziel. One game. Who won before
Andrew
him?
Luck has thrown for 5 straight games with 3 touchdown passes in it, and he's only been sacked 1 time in the last 6 games. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure 1 time. And one of those games was against Jacksonville.
Now,
And here's the thing, Jacksonville's defense is not as bad. However, the offense is terrible.
but at the same time, 2 of the Colts touchdowns in that game were just bad defense. Like, they literally forgot that Ebron was alive, and he literally walked into the end zone.
Did Ebron just tear up the Jaguars?
I think he had one touchdown.
No, he had 2 touchdowns.
is that his
But
3
on-
touchdown
on-
game?
Yeah, that was his 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, but on 2 of those touchdowns, the Jaguars forgot he was alive, and literally he was
Oh,
standing
good
right.
excuse.
Alright, so another
Good
so-
excuse. Excuse here. Look at okay. Let me butt in just because I haven't done anything yet for this one much. So here's the thing. I've been saying since preseason that Blake Bortles will tear this team down, and Blake Bortles is basically the devil. He's out now. Cody Kessler's in. Jaguars are going to look like they did last year in this game. I will tell you that. Jaguars will look like a playoff team, a championship team like they did last year in this game. Cody Kessler will lead them to
And
victory.
you
That's all
said,
it takes,
and you
right?
said my argument was
Yeah, really?
Cody
You're arguing
Kessler.
with
He's better than Blake Bortles.
He at least said Leonard Fournette.
Cody
DJ Chark and
Cody
Tommy
Kessler
Bohannon.
is better than Blake Bortles by a mile.
Wow, probably. But anyway,
And that's going to give them what they need to re-energize that offense. Not the greatest offense. They're not going to be up there with, say, the Saints or the Rams or anything. But that's going to get them that much. And their defense is going to be able to slow down the offense of
This
the
is
Colts.
why I have 90 picks right.
so when Landry Jones takes over for the Jaguars.
If Landry Jones start, I'm changing it.
All right, moving forward, the next game on the slate is the Browns and Texans. Danny believes that for the first time in probably 20 years,
It's probably pushing up.
the Browns
Probably
are going to
99.
win 3 games in a row.
We're just estimating 20 years, by the way. We don't know the specific number.
Nah, it's probably right.
You know,
It's probably been a long time.
You know, and Bryn, I will put it out there, Bryn did make the statement, if the Texans look bad on Monday Night Football, he would switch his pick too. So, once again, this Browns team is not what they were these last 2 years. Hugh Jackson has now shown pretty obviously that he was what was holding them back these last couple years.
Yeah.
You don't think that's true? Going
No,
0-16
because they
and
actually
1-15?
finally have a quarterback, unlike Cody Kessler.
Yeah, but did you see the games that he played under... Cody Kessler started like 3 games for them.
And who was he thrown to back then?
Yeah, what was the number 1 receiver? The guy who's out of the league now, the number 1 draft pick who's out of the league already 3 years later.
Who's he throwing?
Exactly. No one.
He has,
He didn't
He's
have
got Jarvis
Callaway.
Landry.
He's got Landry.
has he even thrown to Landry?
And did
He's
you
got
see
the
that catch that
Jarvis.
Nick Chubb made? How can you can't discount Nick Chubb?
And New Jersey.
This team, this is a Browns team that was held back by their coach. It's shown that they're held back by their coach. They're not going to make a playoff run.
They do.
They were pretty solid last year too.
I don't think this is
their
all
defense was very similar this year to what they were last
I don't
year.
think this is all on Hugh Jackson, though. I mean, in all honesty, I don't think
He's the coach. It was all on. 3 years.
All right,
It was all on
Skip Bayless. Yep.
It was all on him. It was all on him. The quarterbacks all got wasted because of Hugh Jackson in the last 10 years. And I don't care that Hugh Jackson was only there for 3
So
years.
in other words, you think
It's
that
all
if
Hugh
they had
Jackson's
a different coach last 2 years, they would
They wouldn't have gone 0-16, that's for sure. And they would have gone 1-15, that's for sure. They could have won games with Johnny Manziel. They really could have. No, I'm serious. Look back at some of those numbers Johnny Manziel put up that year. I'm not saying he's a good quarterback, but he actually led them to a couple games that they could have had victories, and then awful calls late in the games lost them those games. This Browns team was held back by their coach the last couple years. I think they're going to shock the Texans after the Texans win tonight. They're going to shock the Texans next week and make that division even more exciting between the Colts, Texans, and Titans.
Here's my thing. I've been high on the Texans from the beginning of the preseason, and I'm still going to ride the Texans. They're going to win tonight. They're going to be Tennessee. I think they're going to decimate the Browns. I don't think it's going to be a game.
Texans aren't that good.
I think they're much better than the Browns, because let's be honest, who's going to cover...
Browns are the best team in the NFL since they fired Hugh Jackson.
Apparently.
I never said the best team in the NFL. I think the Texans are not anywhere near that either.
Who's going to cover DeAndre Hopkins?
They have a. Have you seen the numbers their defense put up? They're a top 5 defense right now
Who
in the
they
NFL.
play?
Huh?
Who they play?
The Steelers twice, the Ravens twice, Bengals once.
Okay, so all the teams that we've said are overrated, you're going to...
Yeah, they shut them
I
down.
don't think they played Ravens twice.
Did they close against the Ravens?
They may close.
I think the Bengals closed against the Browns.
No,
no, Ravens Steelers already played, so no, they haven't played the Ravens twice.
Yes.
But they did beat the Ravens already this
So
year.
I just think this is a game where DeAndre Hopkins will take over.
Who have the Texans beat?
All right,
Jaguars.
I'm actually.
I just wanted to see this. So let's take a shot at the Browns with that, but let's not be able to announce one good team. At least the Browns have beat a team that's in the playoff race, the Ravens. The Browns have they put up games against the Steelers. They tied the Steelers, who are going to probably win that division more than likely. So there's 2 right there. They just crushed the Bengals, who are technically still in the playoff race. So this team has beat playoff teams. Who the Texans beat?
I haven't looked at their schedule. I'm sure.
I think they beat Dallas.
Hey, Dallas is leading that
Dallas
division.
is leading the division now.
Yeah.
Well, I
If you
mean,
wanna throw Pittsburgh
let's just
out
say
there,
Alex
like they're a
Smith.
top
Let's,
team.
All right.
Pittsburgh's 7-4 though. Dallas is
7-4,
6-6, 7-5.
7-3-1.
Yeah.
You just talked about the Browns and they tied the Steelers.
No, I was saying Cowboys. I meant to say
Oh,
Cowboys.
you said
I was like, Steelers. Never mind. I messed
Yeah.
up. Anyway, Cowboys are 6-6. But who have they beat?
What didn't the Texans
6-5.
Didn't the Texans beat the Colts?
We're in week 13 coming up, which
Yeah, they had to have played 12 games at least by now.
No, they play 11 games in week 12. Cowboys are 6-5.
No, but at the end of week 12, they've already had their bye week.
Yeah, which is
So
11
winning the
games.
13,
6
you're right.
and 5.
You're right.
So didn't the Texans beat the Colts?
Wait, something's weird.
Yes.
Oh no, because we have. Never mind.
Okay,
I
there
know why
you
I'm
go. Texans
confused.
beat the Colts. Your precious Colts.
My Colts? Wait, when am I?
Anyway.
I don't even have to say anything. I mean, you already said it. If the Texans look bad, which they're not, I'm pretty much picking Texans.
Yeah.
But if Texans look bad, that real bad, they're not yet.
Oh, by the way, we're all picking the Titans in the next game.
Yeah. Do we even need to talk about this game? Titans.
I'm sure we can find some sort of argument to have. Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold is out till week 14 at least.
Oh,
they're probably gonna-
So more McCown.
yeah, Josh McCown will
He's
be
looked
starting.
great.
Hey, he's had moments where he has shown that he has been.
He went right down the field on the Patriots the first 2 drives and got 10 points.
And then he.
I mean, granted, yeah, I mean, then we know what happened the rest of the
Just
way.
got-
But which Titan team's going to show up? I mean, this could be a game where
I don't care what Titans team shows up. They're gonna beat the Jets. They can have the team that shows up that only puts up 6 points, and they'll find a way to beat the
Jets
Jets.
played the Patriots on the Thanksgiving weekend and didn't have a butt fumble. There's always a positive.
And Mark
That's right.
Sanchez played on Thanksgiving.
That's right. All right, so
He didn't actually play in the game.
we're all going to take the Chiefs over the Raiders. I don't think we really need to argue this game.
If only they had a pass rusher and a number 1 receiver, they could be competitive.
Raiders are going to end up coming out like putting up 55 points on the Chiefs.
And probably still lose 55. The
Man.
Chiefs are back-to-back 50-point games.
If only the Chiefs had traded for a guy the week before Earl Thomas, the week before he got injured. Oh, what ifs? What
All
ifs?
right, the next game on the slate.
We're Chiefs. They're 9-2.
Poor Chiefs. They could have played in Mexico.
Hey, Danny,
Yes.
how's your bold prediction working out?
It finally lost. But I'll say this, it was a close game. And if it was in Mexico, the Chiefs would have won. There, I said it.
How?
There, I said it. Because
Because
it's
of
higher.
field conditions.
Because not the field conditions, but because the altitude's high. The Chiefs had lost to the Patriots.
Yeah.
So it was about week 7 or so.
Yeah, so
at the
Jags,
very
the
least.
Jags at that point were
They
probably.
don't lost like 2 in a row at that
They're
point.
actually playoff contenders.
They're at 500 at that point.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, next game on the slate is the Vikings at New England, which should be one hell of a game. We are actually.
I'm
all
shocked it's not on the Sunday.
taking the Patriots.
Until you look what the Sunday night game is. I'm shocked that it's not the Sunday night game.
Steelers, Chargers. That's what they flexed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't it Vikings Patriots first, or who was it before they
Probably
flexed
not. I can't imagine.
It was actually probably Jets and Titans.
it? Jaguars and Colts clearly.
It would have been one of the 4 o'clock games. So it's
Not
either,
necessarily, because remember they moved Jaguars all the way up to 1.
I could check that while we're here, but like.
Well, either way, we all picked Patriots, but that's mainly because they're at home more than anything.
Patriots are tough to beat at home. Sony Michel's getting healthier. He had a big game.
Yeah, but the biggest thing is Xavier Rhodes' injury. If he can't play, that's going to hurt. The Patriots will take advantage of that.
Right.
I hate saying it.
Yeah, I mean it does.
It hurts, especially in the playoff race.
But Gronk looks healthier. He looks back, kind of in form. He only had like 4 catches and a touchdown, but what
It was the
this?
Jets Titans.
It was the 49ers Seahawks.
Oh, darn it! I wish I could have watched that on Sunday night.
Ouch. Nick Mullins. Well, they probably anticipated Jimmy Garoppolo and Russell Wilson, so I mean I can understand. But yeah, we're all on the Patriots bandwagon. I mean, this game could easily be a Vikings upset, but it's in New England. It's tough to beat New England in New England.
Unless the Vikings defense shows up.
But once again, Xavier Rhodes' injury, it looked bad. He like literally fell, and when you saw him walking off the field, it looked like he was doing a poopy dance or something. He couldn't walk, so it was bad. It was really bad looking.
Well, there you go, Patriots.
Well, then we had the flexed game that was originally Sunday night. 49ers at Seahawks, and Bryn did not go too bold and take the 49ers.
Take a shot at Britain. Let's take a shot at the guy. We all picked the same for the rest of the games.
Yeah, we all took the Seahawks here. I just don't think the 49ers have enough firepower to keep up with Seattle. They're playing hot right now.
Yeah. Once again, I don't think the Seahawks are. They're possibly a playoff team. I don't know if they're a Super Bowl ready team at this point. So they might be one of those playoffs teams that maybe get an upset in
They're
there.
not a Super Bowl ready team. They still have the Saints, the Rams, the Bears.
They almost beat the Rams. They actually lost the Rams last second, so they're not necessarily the worst. But I still don't think the Seahawks are that good. But they pulled off a couple good victories these last couple weeks. I think they're still going to pull into the playoffs. And this is an easy game. 49ers are the worst team in the NFL. So
Yeah, and as long as they have Russell Wilson, this Seahawks team is dangerous. And David Moore has actually looked really, really good the last couple of weeks. He's been coming into his own. Plus Doug Baldwin.
But we're counting out Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett had another huge game this week with over 100.
So
So
you're looking at the running backs.
yeah, they're running a Carson.
Seattle actually,
Their
I heard
offense.
something that Seattle has the best rushing offense so far in the NFL.
Which is crazy because you never know who's going to run the ball with him.
And especially
It's better than
considering
Carson now,
the
but
first 3 weeks, they averaged, 30, 40 yards rushing out of their running backs?
yeah, it's a nice turnaround. They're playing way better than people thought they were going to play this year. And once again, it's against the worst team in the league. So,
49ers are going to win.
Yep.
I mean, this division, the teams do always put up fights against each other no matter how bad the teams are. But then again, 49ers are probably going to get annihilated by the Rams the next time they play.
So, next game is the Sunday night game.
Oh, guys, the Steelers are overrated. Oh, how could you put the Steelers tying with the Browns there? Oh, look at this. We all picked the Steelers to beat the 8-win Chargers.
Now, let's be fair. I only picked the Steelers
Yeah,
because when I picked them last week, they lost. So I will continue to pick the Steelers every week if they lose. So if the Steelers win this week, I will go back to picking against them every week. That is why I'm 80 and
That
67.
makes no sense. That makes absolutely no
But
sense.
here's the thing. We're acting like the Chargers are a top team. They're still not that great.
Okay, so at this point,
Oh,
I think we have said that 29 out of 32 teams are not that good. So at this point,
whatever you
it's
have,
the
the
Saints,
Saints,
the
Chiefs,
Chiefs, and the Rams are the only 3 teams left in the race.
Well, considering the Chiefs have beaten both of these teams,
But at the Rams.
I don't think the Rams play any of them.
Well, if the Rams played the Chiefs, they definitely played the Chargers.
I don't think they played Chargers yet. I don't think we had the
They played this year. Ooh, that should be a good one. Battle of LA.
Huh.
No, I thought it did happen this year. They made a deal out of it. I could have sworn.
Yeah, I think the Chargers got blown out that game.
Was that their first loss then?
That might have been actually.
Did it? Well, no, they. Yeah, that's
12.
Oh, week 12.
Oh no, never mind.
That's
this week. September.
35-23. All right.
Yeah, so they did get blown out by the Rams.
It was week 3 though. Chargers are a different team since then.
Yeah.
Not
Listen,
that much.
They've won how many in a row?
I would gladly take,
Well, besides losing then 2 weeks ago to the Broncos.
I would gladly take the Chargers here because I do think they are a better football team than the Steelers. But again, I took the Steelers last week and they lost. So I'm going to keep picking them and hoping that they keep losing.
I'm just picking.
So Sean is basically giving up for the year.
Every time like the Steelers lose a big one, they win a big one.
And it's at home.
And yeah, I mean it's.
But
not
they- but they're not a good team,
They
so.
aren't a great team. No,
They're overrated by far.
They're not gonna. They're gonna one and done in the playoffs.
So now we got
Well,
3
eventually
teams that are 1 and done.
No, one and done.
Depends who they play.
No, one and done.
So if they play the Ravens
Yes.
or the Titans,
Yep.
who they embarrassed last year.
Oh, I don't care. About that. One and done. Well, this went awkward. That was fine.
So I picked the Steelers just because they're at home on a Sunday night football game.
Look how you guys are questioning my picks.
Big Ben, this is probably one of those games where he's going to show up for like 500 yards. This may be
I still don't
another.
understand the logic of him picking the Steelers. I still don't
Because-
get it.
His logic.
Because you still think the Chargers are going to win. So even if you're voicing and saying,
I'm willing to
writing
lose a
Steelers,
point.
I'm writing Steelers on
I'm
this
willing
paper,
to
even though
lose.
I think the Chargers are going to
He
win.
wants Steelers to lose.
I'm willing to lose a point for the Steelers to lose this football.
I get that, but I mean, how is it when you're still saying you think the Chargers are going to win, but you're writing down the Steelers? Doesn't that technically still mean you're picking the Chargers because you think they're going to win?
I just like how he didn't like give me this hard of a time for the Cardinals Packers. I mean, I clearly said I don't think Packers are losing.
Well, because I like you missing games. So,
You're competing.
well, if he picks the Chargers and the Steelers win, then I gain one on them.
So you want me to take the Chargers, but I want the Steelers to lose, so I'm going to. You take the Chargers. Danny's taking the Chargers.
Remember, I was the one who just sat here and said the Steelers are a good team. That it's probably not a Super Bowl team, but a good enough team to be one of the best in the AFC.
Yeah, but
And you guys just argued against it and said the Browns tied the Steelers.
look at the
Nothing.
AFC.
When did we say that?
Look at the AFC.
That was what Sean's argument was against me in the Browns-Texans game.
I didn't say the.
You said the Browns were a
the
good team.
Steelers were nothing.
You said the Browns were, though.
Well, they aren't.
What's the record?
They're 4-6-1. They're tied with the Packers.
I don't care. What's the record?
They're better than the Jaguars. 4-6-1. If that-
Anyone's better than
If we're
Jaguars.
going, then why'd you pick them?
It's a division game. Anything can happen. Danny picked them too. So.
I picked the Browns, though. My argument is the Browns are better than their record. Oh my
Go to the last game.
God.
Alright, the last game is the Redskins at Eagles. Colt McCoy is still leading the charge.
And this is the game that the Eagles are going to win, and everyone's going to be like, oh, Eagles making a playoff run. Eagles are back. Oh, yay. Ugh.
Well, I mean, they
We all
probably won't be
fucked
back because they'll be tied for division lead if they win.
But no,
If Cowboys lose.
Cowboys got to lose the Saints
If
first.
Cowboys lose the Saints and the Eagles win, the Eagles are tied for first in the
but didn't the
division.
Eagles beat them earlier, right?
Did the Eagles beat Cowboys?
Didn't Ezekiel Elliott have like a big game and they won? I can't remember.
I can't remember.
I can't remember. Who knows?
Eagles
Eagles
are taking the Eagles. Again, this is probably the game where all the Philly fans will come out of hiding and say that they're Super Bowl favorites now, even though they can't hold a candlestick to the Rams or the Saints.
and they just got beat 45 to
I would just like to
7.
state that Sean just insulted both Pennsylvania teams in a matter of minutes.
He
I
did.
do.
And by the way, most people who watch this are from Pennsylvania. All the 5 people who watch this.
And
Oh
they're
my
probably all
God.
Steelers fans too.
Oh my God.
That's probably why we keep losing viewers.
Probably.
Do we even gain viewers in the first place to lose?
Yeah, we got game views to
We had a high mark of 22 recently.
Wow.
We had almost 100 on our first
That was
video.
like 5 weeks ago, maybe 5
Well, it was the last video we had uploaded.
Oh,
at
you
this
mean the
point.
first video with me and you and not Brandon?
We got 96, yeah.
I mean, I'll walk away again. See how you guys do on your own. You didn't do that much better.
Well,
Oh my
I
God,
will
this was a
say
weird video.
Look at the weird video.
we will have to
This video took
apologize
longer than it.
to Bills fans because apparently in the first video, me and Danny ripped the Bills apart, and yet they beat both of our teams.
They crushed our team.
It was pretty much destined in stone for them to beat us the way we ripped apart the Bills.
If I'd have known they played both of our teams this year, if I'd have looked at the schedule at that point, I probably wouldn't have been as tough on them.
And
But
look
wow.
at that, the guy who tried to reason with them when I came in.
No, you just said their defense is good and their offense sucked.
Because it's true, but
Yeah.
what happened? The Bears beat the Bills.
Logic.
Hashtag
Same kind of logic of picking the Steelers, even though say that you think the Chargers are gonna win.
He's still on you.
Yeah.
Because I picked the Cardinals,
And I already said they're losing.
but it's against the Packers, and we already both have discussed this, that the Packers will once again, I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs, but they're gonna make that, oh look at this, Packers are the team of destiny, they're the miracle team, and they're gonna sneak into the playoffs, they're gonna beat the Bears in round one, because that's what they do, they stun the team that beat them earlier in the year, and then they're gonna go and get blown out by, I don't know, who's the Rams.
Bears didn't beat them earlier in the year.
Well, Bears are going to beat them here coming soon. No, I'm kidding. They're going to
It's
beat the
not
Bears
early.
again.
Yeah,
They're going to beat the Bears again.
I'm
Here we
picking-
go.
I'm picking Green
Wait,
Bay.
didn't you just say Green Bay wasn't going to make the playoffs? Then you said Green Bay's going to make the playoffs?
No, I said I don't think they are, but we all know the
As
story.
an NFC North fan,
You don't know the pain that we know in the NFC North.
like every time we
I
say,
said-
oh, Rodgers went out for 3 weeks. Oh, that's exciting. Up, he comes back. Yeah, Packers win the
Packers the
division.
division up. Packers just knocked at the Vikings in round one again.
Oh, what's that? A different team won the division, but it doesn't matter because there's Green Bay. And
All right, and that wraps up this week. We are the fantasy forecasters, and we predicted just as good as the weatherman.
Yeah, no,
Like,
not,
sorry,
even, not even that.
Well, at least some of us.
I'm giving up hope that we're even better than the weather.
At least some of us will be right.